Guys, if Apple's able to pull this off, it is going to be a complete and utter game changer, and we have to talk all about this in this video. So if you guys find value, hit the like button, subscribe, check out my Patreon down below for all my buy, sells, call outs, morning update videos, plus more. And you guys could also get 2 stocks from Webull and $50 free from M1 Finance. All of that, again, is linked down below. And with that being said, let's get into it. So Apple stock, at the time that I'm filming this video, just hit an all-time high of around $171 per share. And what they're looking to do is pretty crazy over the next 5, 10, 15 plus years. And honestly, 15 plus years, that's so far away that it's kind of hard to predict. But 5, 10 years, not that hard to predict, but still pretty hard to predict. And with that being said, let's get into what they're looking to do, which it might be a bit out there, might be a bit crazy, but it's pretty awesome in my personal opinion. So in a recent note to investors, analyst Ming-Chi Kuo via Mac Rumors, who is often cited for his accurate insider info on all things Apple, claims the tech company will launch a head-mounted device sometime next year. So I guess that's in 2022, marking the first step in a 10-year process towards abandoning the smartphone in favor of augmented reality, also known as AR. We'll talk about that in a second. And Kuo previously predicted a roadmap with 3 phases: a helmet-type headset in 2022, glasses by 2025, and contact lenses. Could you imagine putting in your contacts and you're in augmented reality? We'll talk about that in a second. Again, the difference between that and virtual reality. He expects contact lenses by 2030 to 2040, which is very far off. Who the heck knows what's going to happen in the next 10, let alone 20 years? But that is what this guy is saying. And if Kuo's report is accurate, then Apple's plans are very bold. iPhone sales account for more than half of the company's total revenues, hitting about $39 billion for fiscal Q4 of 2021. As such, Apple would only kill the iPhone once the transition to AR is very close to completion. So it's not like they're going to discontinue iPhones and throw these glasses on the market next year. That's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen that way. And if we look back in history, a lot of companies have tried to do this. I think Google had a Google Glass or whatever that's called that came out in like 2013. Facebook did something like this, Snapchat, and none of these have really succeeded. And Microsoft also has a product right now. It's called the HoloLens or HoloLens, not Holo. Probably HoloLens, right? And those go for $3,500, and I think those are for industrial use or something like that. I was looking into them a little bit, and they're pretty cool looking. But overall, Apple is looking to do crazy things here. And when you look at augmented reality versus virtual reality, some people don't know the difference. Well, if you're one of those people, I'm going to tell you the difference right now. Augmented reality is an enhanced version of the real physical world that is achieved through the use of digital visual elements, sound, or other sensory stimuli delivered via technology. So, essentially, augmented reality is you are in the real world still, but let's say you put on a headset or glasses, whatever, and you see fake things in the real world, right? In layman's terms, right? You see different elements, you hear sound. It's kind of like Pokemon Go. Have you guys played that game? I did a couple times. I mean, I'm not a big Pokemon guy, but it's kind of like Pokemon Go where you hold your phone out and then you see Pikachu hopping around in the bush across the street, or you see, whatever. It's kind of like that, right? So that's augmented reality, and virtual reality is completely different. That's kind of what Meta is getting into, also known as Facebook, with the whole metaverse. And if you guys have used the Oculus goggles, that's more virtual reality. Virtual reality is a simulated experience that can be similar to or completely different from the real world. A person using virtual reality equipment is able to look around the artificial world, move around in it, and interact with virtual features or items. So there's a big difference there. Augmented reality, you're still in the real world, but there's, different visual elements, experiences in the real world. But virtual reality, you're still obviously in the real world, your body is, but you're in a completely made up world in, the goggles that you're seeing the whole virtual reality in, if that makes any sense. So that's the distinct difference there between AR and VR. And Morgan Stanley, they're very bullish on this news, as I kind of am as well. But you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt because nobody knows what the heck's going to happen. Sure, Morgan Stanley could be bullish. This could end up panning out and being great. But as of now, it's in the baby steps. I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen in 5, 10 years, 15 years. Kind of like with the metaverse with Facebook. Nobody knows what's going to happen in 10 years. But it's if it pans out, it looks very promising. And I think it's going to be pretty good for the business. So Morgan Stanley's Katie Huberty raised Apple's price target from $164 to $200. And that's a pretty big raise, especially since the company is already a $2.5 trillion market cap. And Huberty argued new products from Apple, like augmented reality or a virtual reality headset, aren't yet baked into the share price, which I agree. I mean, to a certain extent, they're probably not baked fully into the share price because they're not even here yet. Nobody really knows the implications of these products, how they're going to go and so forth, pricing, all that, how you're going to make money or how they're going to make money, from these products, are there going to be in-app purchases and so forth? Nobody really knows. So she's saying, okay, it's not baked into the share price. I agree with her there. And Huberty said about 6% of Apple's total revenue over the past 5 years has been generated by new products like AirPods, Apple Watch, and some other Apple's services, which didn't exist 5 years ago. She said new products like an AR headset, which could contribute as much to revenue as the iPad did in its first 4 years on the market, may present similar growth over the next 5 years, equating to about a $20 per share increase in Apple's share price today, on top of Morgan Stanley's existing growth predictions. So, in other words, that's how she got to that 200, right? So that's her new price target over there at Morgan Stanley, $200 per share. And full disclosure, I'm personally long Apple. I've been long for a long time. I got out a little bit. I think like 4 years ago, I sold my Apple, got back into it. So I've been long on and off for years at this point, and I never plan on selling Apple. It's truly one of those stocks, along with Google, that I just don't ever plan on selling. Facebook is one that I do plan on selling. In fact, I got rid of it about a year ago. I sold out of Facebook. Even Amazon, I could see myself selling Amazon at some point, but Apple, with how sticky that business is, I'm never selling it. Google, never selling it, at least as of now. I mean, never say never. But overall, I think augmented reality is going to be very big. Obviously, virtual reality as well. And we have these players, Apple, Facebook going at it. Google's going at it for sure. Behind the scenes, Microsoft. Who's going to be the winner? That's the main thing here. And I think Apple, with the massive audience that they already have, customer base rather, shall I say, and how addicted people are to Apple products and how stuck they are in that. I don't want to say stuck like it's a bad thing, but with how much they are just, they're in that ecosystem and it's hard to get out. And people love the Apple ecosystem. I personally love it as well. Everything I own is Apple. With how many people are in this ecosystem, it's kind of like a smooth transition to the glasses, if that makes any sense. If they are successful, they're great products. It's going to be a smooth transition for people that had the iPhone, the iPads, the iWatches, the AirPods. They're going to get the glasses. It's a smooth transition. That's why I think Apple, if they execute correctly with this, it's going to work out long term. So what do you guys think? That's an important question. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. Would you buy these? Would you not buy them? I personally would buy them. I'm not the biggest fan of the metaverse, right? I think people should live in the real world, and maybe sometimes they could go in the metaverse, have fun, and do whatever. But I think it's dangerous for kids, with undeveloped brains to be going in the metaverse. They're going to get addicted to it, because I know how I was as a kid. I was a big video game kid. I would play 8-10 hours a day on the weekends sometimes, a lot of the time. Let me be honest, a lot of the time. And I think, kids will get addicted to that, which I think is dangerous. But augmented reality, it's a bit different because you're still in the real world. You're seeing, all the stuff we talked about. But overall, let me know your thoughts. Hit the like button, subscribe. Check out my Patreon link down below if you guys want all my moves in real time, morning videos, more access to me, and get yourself $50 from M1 Finance, M2 stocks from Webull, up to $1,600. All of that, again, is linked down below. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys later. Keep crushing the market. Stay safe out there. Peace out.